This story begins in a city in ruins. A huge centipede faces the protagonist. Before the battle begins. Hey hero, they call you by your name. Wake up, and it turns out that everything was bad. Dream, everyone laughs at him as he returns to fall asleep in class, and the teacher scolds him. He has exams around the corner and he's asleep. Yells and tells him that at this rate he won't. They are going to hire neither as a worker of the build, says it needs a status health of 0.8 to work as a bricklayer. The students ask the teacher not to ignore him and laugh at Lucent, saying that his state of health is 0.7. The class comes to an end and the teacher lets them go. A boy asks Lucing is having nightmares again. This boy is the Lucing's best friend. His name is Leo. Kimin remembers her dream. She saw that one again. Apocalyptic world where there is no one more than monsters because of those dreams. His health status has dropped to 0.2. You have to work harder to recover. Your previous state of health tells you that. Don't worry and don't be a hero. Suggests that I go play something, but Lucing tells him that he will go home too. Sleeping Luijim tries to convince him, but Lucing tells him that he has to go home early to rest. Lu Kimin leaves with the other boys, walk around town, thinking about everything that is happening. Recently moved to this world, Shine could not be imagined. Worrying about some exams, go back to home. His mother is sticking some patches on his father's back. His mother, he asks if he has and asks him to wait for to return to his brother. Losing him asks his father if he has bought one machine to circulate blood. Has heard me that the machine increases the vitality and favors the regeneration of his lumbar and back injuries. The father replies that it is not a injury but only the appearance of the old age. He says with a smile on his face, who is still capable of many things. Also, who has a gift for his son Sokka. Latest loosened treatment powders. And her mother are surprised they are powders that they cost $20,000. His mother claps his father on his back and praises him. The mother is about to prepare a good dinner. The mother and father ask if has already reached 0.85. His sister has already reached 0.9. This news shocked Lucing retires to his room and think you have to put the batteries. He soon gets into position and begins to use 24 body techniques. These 24 techniques were invented by masters of martial arts based on yoga and ancient judo 300 years ago. The world changed, cracks began to appear on the sky and their monsters, the weapons modern, have lost their relevance, and then a genetic trait was unlocked within humans. After that, the power of each man began to grow exponentially, but still they kept destroying the cities. Lucing tried all 24 techniques 3 times, but its status did not change. Remember that his parents tried to get the dust for him, and the universe gave him a second chance. Decides to continue training. At that moment his eyes darken and moves to the same place of dreams. Lucing tries to wake up by pinching himself, but at that moment a zombie attacks him from behind, falls along with him. Zombie, although he is weak in combat, body to body, has no intention of lose to the zombie. He immediately picks up a stone and break the skull from the zombie's body. A kind of aura emerges. Light the past of the zombie as dreamed of. Become a military man as he came to do it and how he died in combat. Feel overwhelmed by power in that moment. Is attacked from behind by another monster. Applause. Luzin kills him instantly with the power that he had acquired. He did not realize what had happened, but when reflecting, realized that along with the memories of this zombie had also received his power. Luseg cannot believe all life experiences zombies have moved into. He feels a little sad since everything is a dream and this experience will not be there in the real world, but still surprised. This place is much clearer than in your dreams. Again he feels tormented for the life of the zombie that sees in all the base. 1359 is thought to need. Finding this base is probably where you get more information. Luzin decides to kill only the zombies dressed in military uniforms. They will get more power and information. But at that moment it is returned. Abruptly his world is lying on the floor sweating. Just at that moment his sister calls him for dinner. Luzin opens the door behind which he is waiting for his sister. She tells him that he won't believe him if I told him that he has been exercising, but in his mind wonders when his brother he got so muscular they look. Remember how as children they were inseparable, but when he went to school he forgot about him. Had great health indicators and strength. It shows that his musculature has grown up. Really doesn't feel weak anymore. And the drowsiness gone. The memory of the zombies has also disappeared and his martial arts stay with him. Sits at the table and eats everything. They give him light. The satisfied father asks for more. He asks his mother to cook more. Father says his son is getting a man. His sister intervenes in the conversation and says it's not the puberty and that he will not grow just because of his will. While the father and sister discuss, it is seen that their statistics have increased. Decides to go to the dojo to see if it is. Truth comes to the dojo whose master is Unchuin, who specializes in boxing and once finished in the top 10 fighters, is a rank 4 master. There are 4 ranges in total. Requirements to enter this dojo are crazy. If his sister wanted to enter, his parents they could find the money to do it. But not for him. Still he doesn't need it. Because you can get stronger. While he sleeps, a girl receives him in the entrance and asks him if he wants enrolling in the Luzin dojo. Tells him that he has only come to check his statistics. The girl, seeing that no has his own personal trainer, concludes that he is poor, shows him which one is the right room for him and her. He asks if he will need your help. Thanks and says he knows how. Using it checks your state of health. The machine shows 0.96 in just 1 hour. Their status has been increased by 0.2. Is very happy about it. Almost reached his sister, who is considered a genius. Then he decides to test his combat skills. Has the experience of 2 zombies using the hit a target. The display shows 113. Luzin is shocked. The increase in strength is greater than his state of health each time. Believe more that you can become a teacher in just 1 hour has reached. These statistics are already wondering what would happen if I slept 8, 9, or 10 hours. The night comes and cannot. Sleeping, gets angry about it, looks at the clock. And it's only 9 at night. Training, start to exercise, but your body is exercising totally different than it appears. Before his eyes, an image of the life of a zombie soldier was the technique of body workout than the zombie he had learned during his life. Loosen. Repeat your exercise. Keep training with every move. Feel the energy getting better. It doesn't just have to do with exercise, but also with the breath. In the zombie army, to the soldier taught a breathing technique. But then, in the middle of her training, lozenges invaded by a strong feeling of hunger. Shine occurs. Realize you can't live on food normal and need supplements. Pharmacological, but his family does not have money to buy them. Shine is given. Realize that you need the money, so think about getting a scholarship, but to achieve it has to improve the events. Move to the gym. Zen and his friend change in the changing rooms. Line says that simply. Today there will be sparring, and then they look at Loosen's abs, ask him, how did he get like this since he's been alone a couple of days that are not seen Loosen? He answers that he has driven a lot. Exercise at home. Loosen realizes that his hair has grown too much. Need a Liam haircut? Questions. And wants to show off to the girls, and so train to the last of your strength. All meet in the gym. Her martial arts instructor going to teach some basic techniques in this class, and an index that your teacher is a rank 2 master, and that when he fought against monsters the scar was made on the hand. There the teacher shows the techniques, but they seem to find their techniques too primitive and little clear. The teacher finishes the demo. Invites Young to show the Giffel techniques is the favorite of all teachers. Come from a family rich and also strong. Its level is close to 1.2. Shows the movements of the teacher and a question. How do we make people like us to move on before Loosen would have? I agreed with him, but not now. He pretends to take everything in his hands. The show ends. The teacher says, you need to work on your balance. After practice, he wants to show you the exercises for that. After the teacher asks the class if anyone wants to face Giffel, but everyone. Callan Lewis says, what sense does it make? Fight him if he beats anyone. And the teacher thinks how he is going to teach them if everyone is afraid of go out to train. After all, they will have that defending himself in the near future. Knows that the students believe that Hitful is their favorite, but it's not like that. And then between the teacher's crowd takes notice of his look is different from others. Teacher realizes that they are the eyes of someone who is being severely challenged. Asks him out. Asks the teacher to be careful. Tells them they have 10 minutes and ask them to remember to be careful. Teacher sees that there is not a hint of fear in Loosen. Asks him what is the state of light. This responds that the last was 0.8. The teacher starts to doubt him because the difference between his status is great. He gives him advice and tells him to spend more time developing his strength. He puts himself in Position and start to fight. Giffel, confident in his victory, says that the result of the fight is already determined, but his attack did not hit Luzin. Dodged, and while remaining thunderstruck, hits from below, and in doing so throws Ajip fell towards the crowd, knocked out Luzin. He just punched him. Everyone stays dumbfounded, looking at Given the teacher. Shout for a nurse. Doctors are taken there on a stretcher. In that moment he approaches the teacher and asks him sorry. The teacher comforts him and says that injuries occur in the combat, that has nothing wrong. Flame light up his office to talk about something. Lusum says goodbye to his friend and leaves. Goes, and the friend stays there, interspersing different versions of why it has been become so strong. Even wonder if he gets high. He comes with his teacher to his office. Right in the middle of the office there is a dummy, like in the dojo too. Looks at the bonsai. Did not know that at teacher would like that. The teacher says, which is a small hobby, since each one has its own secrets. After say this, look at they look like in see something. The teacher asks if they look worn out. Illegal drugs to improve your status. Warns that you could be expelled from the school for consuming them. Lucen swears that has not consumed any. Then the teacher says now they are going to check your state. Pulls out a balloon and says yes, it has used something forbidden. The balloon low will then want to check your fighting skills. Lizenga accepts and put your hand on the globe for an hour. Strong emerges from the globe, and then the number 1532 appears on the screen. The teacher is surprised. Lusing is a teacher to the 18 years old. Can't believe it. Says no. There is such a genius in school, or even in the whole city. After Lucian is coming to the dummy and flies into the head of a blow. The professor look at the bonsai, crying. The teacher is convinced. What was the bonsai that he had to receive? The blow. The teacher says that the force de Lusing is beyond a master of rank 1. The master remembers light, saying that his range is 0.8. Asks him, when was the last time you left? Examined. Lusing replies that it was ago half a month. The teacher is surprised. Asks if he trains with a teacher. Lusing replies that he trains alone, and that as he has made these progresses in his secret. The teacher remembers that his age he wasn't bad either, but it took him 2 years of meditation to reach the second rank and enlist alone. There he realized that humans are not nothing before the monsters. The only ones who can face them are the ones who they have the kind of intrepidity that they have. The monsters. The teacher tells him that with his skills he should study in a class for gifted only. There will get a decent education, but Lucine rejects this offer. She thinks it is better to train while you sleep. Teacher says he will help you if you have any difficulties. Lucine asks if you can get a scholarship and if you can have a more flexible schedule. Teacher understands that he needs money and time, is willing to help you. Teacher says the application will process for 2 days. Advises light in which you do not waste this time and practice giving him your card until get the scholarship is a MasterCard. Black with a minimum of 100,000 yen. Luenta thanks to the teacher. Teacher remains thoughtful. There is a boy so endowed in this place that has practically become a rank 2 teacher at 18 thinks that he has to hide it before start exams as a secret soul and scare the other universities, but it's not just about the exam. After all these years have finally found a soldier who will be ready to go. Lucen sees that a mother buying her daughter a tonic in a store costs 30 million yen. Looking at it, it is thought that not even working 24 hours a day could afford it. Strong craftsmen earn a lot and they invest their money in their children, and it is difficult for children from poor families reach the top. Your sister is a genius, has everything he needs to go out, but the useless brother stops her, who is always whining. Go to two guys arguing about games before it was. So he dreamed of becoming stronger, but he was hiding from the real world in games. I was like a fish in a fishbowl that dreamed with entering the ocean. But now everything changed, was able to go beyond. Now he will act them, deliberately committing the least possible errors. Promises his family to become stronger. He is back in the other world of New. Lucen fights against a zombie that could use martial arts. Music. Most likely this zombie was a teacher in a past life. Lucen tapping into the soldier's memories. Zombie almost reached base 1359, but he sees nothing here. Black fog and monsters. By the way, the boyfriend no monster in. All the way to here. Finally go. The base 1359 looks more like a city. For his ladder goes down and he sees a huge wall that open. Climbs over the wall and sees that it has about 20 meters wide. In the center of the base sees a building that doesn't look alike others. Most likely had a command center in the last floor. Through the broken glass employ someone. Lucen realizes that he is a zombie. The zombie looks away. Luce doesn't realize what it was. They decide not to go there yet. That zombie is too hard. He goes down the wall and jump over the heads of the zombies to surround them. Enters the first building. Is probably the floor of someone. Looking around, Lucien see that people have not even had the chance to escape this fog. Black on a table of an apparatus that it still works. Press it and it appears before him. A hologram of a girl. She turns towards him. And then Lucen realizes that she is speaking your language. Lucen thinks it's a program who translates your words into the language of Lucen. The girl says it's a product of technology. Has is an artificial intelligence built in 16th generation. E.g. asks him to tell her what he has passed. Here she accesses the database data and starts to show all the latest news before the disaster. Lucen says that this world is the same as that of it. Is impossible to imagine how far its development in the arts has arrived. Marshall is shown below. A video clip of a huge monster attacking a city. Lucen is surprised, realizing that technology and the martial arts of this world have achieved enormous developments. But despite these advances and the fact that people has brought huge walls closer, people have not able to escape from the monsters. The people has even tried to leave the Earth. They have sent spaceships to find a new planet to inhabit. That civilization was great but still extinct. Then Luce asks I to give her. Teach the history of this world. Wait. Understanding the history of this world can save yours from the same fate. Start reading from the first year in school. That lesson says that cracks appeared on Earth while they shine. Comes the year 34 in which the first Superman is born. And art schools are created. Martial arts, and then he realizes that it's the same story you read in your world. Lucen realizes that his language is the same and the grading system is identical, and realizes that that place is a world in the future.